From the Opubco studios in Oklahoma City, you're watching The Press Row. I'm Jenny Carlson here with Barry Trammell. Time for our 5 and 5 segment. 5 topics, about a minute each for 5 minutes. We've got a lot of basketball to talk about, Barry. Let's start with the NBA draft next Wednesday night. Is it must-see TV?
I think it is. I think the NBA draft is very good television for this reason. Way more activity in the NBA draft than in the NFL draft in terms of trades. People moving up, people moving down, people drafting a guy, then trading him 10 minutes later, 5 picks later they trade him. It's hard to even keep up with it. So I think it's pretty riveting television. It seems to move faster than the NFL draft. I prefer it.
Yeah, I think it's must-see TV for me most years, but I think now being a Thunder observer, and if you're a Thunder fan, I think this is must-see TV. Sam Presti, known for moving and shaking on draft night, getting guys that maybe we don't even hardly know about, and making some big-time acquisitions. So I think if you're a Thunder fan, it's definitely must-see TV. The Thunder having 2 picks in the first round this year. There's a lot of talk that they're not going to draft both of those picks, that they'll make some sort of trade or deal to move out somebody or move up, and I think there's a great chance that that happens. So if you're a Thunder fan, I think it's must-see TV too next Wednesday. All right, Barry, another Thunder question. Free agency. Who will the Thunder get in free agency?
Well, I don't know. I don't have a great list. In fact, you had to jog my memory on who even the candidates were. I've been focused on that trade exception, and will the Thunder use it with for that $6.7 million that they've got to acquire in a trade. But the guy they went after last year, they could still use this summer is Mike Miller. He's signed a 1-year deal with Memphis. He's back free again. Went okay in Memphis. They had a nice team. Thunder beat them in the first round, but I think the Thunder may make another run at a Mike Miller. Depending on what kind of player the Thunder gets to fill in as Thabo Sefolosha's role. Thunder's going to need shooting, so I'll guess Mike Miller.
Yeah, and Mike Miller made about 1-3 or 1-2 in Memphis.
Pretty low.
Yeah,
pretty low.
I think they could afford him for sure, and obviously they have some dealings with his people and with him after last year. The Thunder came very close to getting him, so I think that they've got a good track record to go out and get him. But I'm going to say I've got 2 names in mind. C.J. Miles, I think, is a guy that could be that Thabo Sefolosha fill-in. Our man Darnell Mayberry really likes C.J. Miles, but he seems like more of a two-way guy. Maybe you give up a little bit in the defense, but maybe gain something in the offensive end. I like C.J. Miles, but my sort of sleeper, I'd really like to see him in a Thunder uniform pick, is Chauncey Billups. They need somebody to fill that Derek Fisher veteran type of presence and role in the locker room. I think Chauncey Billups could be the guy. And by the way, he's a guy that the coaches up in his neck of the woods are so enamored with, they would like to get him as an assistant. Maybe he's a guy that you sort of roll into an assistant's role after he gets done playing. All right, Barry, one more Thunder question. Who's the starting lineup in 2014 on opening night?
All right, I'm going to go, this may be a breaking news. I don't know that I've said this publicly, but I think everybody agrees that it's likely Steven Adams replaces Perk in the starting lineup. I think the 2 guard's going to be Jeremy Lamb. I think the Thunder's been grooming Lamb. I think he's still young. You worry about his defense, it gets lost. But Lamb is 6'6", athletic, long arms. There's no reason why he couldn't be not just an acceptable defender, but a very good defender. So I think the Thunder may have been grooming Jeremy Lamb for that role. I'm going to guess it's Jeremy Lamb.
Okay, so you're saying Adams and Lamb are new starters on opening night. Okay, I'm going to say beyond the big 3, Durant, Westbrook, Ibaka, I'm going to say Perk sticks in the lineup on opening night. I'm not saying he stays there all year, because I think the way that Steven Adams is charging and the way he's improving, I think he moves into that spot before the year's out. But I think Perk holds that job on opening night. But I'm going to go back and say C.J. Miles is your starting shooting guard. I think they...
Well, if they get him, they need to start him.
Right. I think he's a guy that they may look at acquiring. So if you got C.J. Miles, I think he's on the floor. That obviously that's a stretch because he's not even part of the roster at this point, but I'll say C.J. Miles. All right, Barry, our fun question of the week. What's your must-have item on vacation? And I'm asking this strictly because you're getting ready to leave the lower 48 for the first time in your life. This is a big deal.
It is a big deal when you go to a place that doesn't respect the United States Constitution. So, I've never walked those kinds of streets, but I'm going to Italy next week. And anytime I go anywhere, vacation or not, I got to have my laptop, got to stay connected to the office and everything else. Got to write those travel blogs that everybody loves so much, wants me to quit sports and write travel. But here's what I got to have in Italy. And help me remember, Jackie O, I got to do this. I got to get myself a thunder cap. I got to walk around Italy with a thunder cap. I want to do a social experiment. How many Italians stop me and say, hey, the Thunder, Oklahoma City? How many people recognize that logo, know what I'm talking about? I'm going to get a thunder cap, walk around Italy with it for 2 weeks, and I'll report back.
All right, and I also am going to suggest that you get some sort of Italian phrase book so you can at least find out where the bathroom is. And
that's very valuable information.
And more meatballs.
Yes.
All right, my must-have item, I got to say, I'm not a technology person, but anymore, having my tablet with me is important, my computer tablet. So I've got my books on there. I can check Facebook on there, which I know is really important to you, Barry. So, but anymore, my tablet is something I got to have. Can I also say, please take your toiletry bag, unlike the trip to San Antonio.
I forgot it in San Antonio.
Who knows what you might have to buy in Italy if you don't have your toiletries. All right, lastly, it's an important question, Barry. Bigger floppers, World Cup or NBA? We've had the two worlds converge here. Pretty good look at both. Who's the bigger floppers?
Well, the soccer guys are bigger floppers for this reason. It's bigger stakes. You know, Dwayne Wade flops or Manu Ginobili flops. It's a foul. Sometimes it's not even a foul shot. And if it is, it's 2 shots, 1 possession in a 100-possession game. You go flop it in the World Cup, they might give you a penalty kick in a 0-0 game. So the stakes are much bigger in the World Cup. The soccer players know, hey, if I can fake out the ref, this is one of the biggest 2 or 3 plays of the game. So way bigger stakes, way bigger benefit to flopping in the soccer.
Yeah, I definitely agree. In fact, I had somebody that knows quite a bit about soccer try to explain to me how the soccer players basically get away with looking like they got shot when they might have got nudged in the back. And essentially, if there's contact, so I was told, if there's contact, they can pretty much sell it as hard as they want. So, of course, there's a great incentive to flop. Why wouldn't you flop? Why wouldn't you look like you just gotten, your knee whacked out from of course you would flop. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. My problem is the flopping in soccer and then the tough guy attitude. When you look like, oh my gosh, I can't go on, and then you pop up, and then 2 minutes later you're in a guy's face, don't go giving the tough guy attitude when it looks like you got shot from somebody going boop. Hey, be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere, newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.